Hi, welcome to James Miller Lifeology, where you will learn to simplify and transform your life. My name is James Miller. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and a composer. In this episode, I wanted to talk with you about the concept of integrity. And trust me, this is not an episode of casting guilt or shame on anyone or a self-righteous rant. Trust me, I'm part of this as well. So integrity is something that we often think about as doing things externally and making sure it's the same internally when we're by ourselves. And yes, that's absolutely true. However, there's a completely different reason why we should have integrity. We can often say we'll never go up to someone and push them down on the street or yell at them or cheat them or spread lies about them because that's just not who we are. However, there are times when we actually do that to ourselves. If we struggle with something and we mess up on something and all of a sudden our self-talk is, you're such a horrible person, or I can't believe you did that, or you're always messing up. So if we don't do that with people that are on the street or just people externally, then why is it okay for us to do it internally? The whole concept of integrity is to learn how to trust yourself. When you have integrity across the board in every area of your life, that creates structure, that creates a sense of normalcy. That baseline of integrity is the template that we use in every situation. So if you know how you act at work and it's different than how you act at home, well, that level of integrity is not consistent. So you have to figure out what's the baseline. I was in private practice for the past 10 years, and I used to be a clinical supervisor for the state of Virginia and teaching people, postmasters, how to be a therapist. And so in those supervision hours, what I would really teach my students to do is ask yourself, if you do something for one of your clients, you have to make sure that you do it for every single other client. Because of course you can't have favorites. But the point is when you do something, you have to make sure it's consistent across the board. With your children, you're not going to treat your children differently. Yes, you may have different rules as far as their ages of what's appropriate, but you're not going to love one more than the other. Because that just doesn't make sense. So then why would you do that in your personal life? Why would you allow yourself to react differently in different areas? You know, when you're with one group of friends, you do one thing. When you're at work, you do something different. When you're at home, you do something different. And so that can just be the way you perceive things. That can be the way you react to things. That can be the behaviors that you demonstrate. If they're not consistent across the board, then you're not going to be able to trust yourself. Because when you're surprised with something or when something blindsides you, you're not going to know how to react. Because if it's inconsistent in all those other areas, there's no sense of normalcy. There's no automatic response. It's going to be here and here and here. And that's not how we're able to live a life that's very balanced. We've often been around people who may be very reactive in some ways. You know, we have a good understanding of how they are, and all of a sudden they react in such a way that just throws us off. We're like, why are they acting like this? And so when we're around them, then we become very wary when they may act in one of those ways because it's unpredictable. And so this is the same type of thing. When you can create a life that's predictable with your responses, you will then be able to create a life that's proactive for yourself, a life that has compassion for yourself, a life that puts your needs first. You know, just like in an airplane, they always tell you to put your mask on before you help anyone else. It's the same type of thing. When you have this consistency in your own life, you will know how to act when you're blindsided by different situations, because that parameter or that safety of what that integrity looks like is going to come to the forefront. And when it comes to the forefront, you know how you're going to react. It's not a guessing game. So I would really ask you, when you are going through your day, just ask yourself, am I demonstrating a level of integrity with this behavior in every area of my life? You just flip out the scenario and put in the behavior. So if you're with your friends, are you acting the same way you act when you're with your parents? Warren Buffett had a really famous quote, talked about his success. He just simply said, the way to success is to remind yourself, is this behavior, if it was on the front page of a newspaper, would I be okay with that? And it's the same type of thing with integrity, of course. Is your behavior commensurate, or is it the same with who you are in every area of your life? So I really want you, and this goes to myself as well, I really want us all to know that integrity is one of the most important things we can have. And so I'm proud of you all. I know you guys are getting there. I know I'm getting there. It's a struggle for me as well, but it is something we're all learning and growing. So thank you so much for watching James Miller Lifeology. I see you tomorrow.